When we think about monopolies, we go right to big tech, or the board game. But it's competitive sports somehow that have the most anti-competitive business practices. The recent athlete ban in golf is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's get into it in this week's 5 for Friday. Coming in at number 5, UEFA and FIFA are no strangers to controversy for acting as a cartel. Last spring, they put the kibosh on a proposed Super League, where some of the best teams in the world tried to break away to do their own thing. The striker was offside, though. 2 days after it was officially rolled out, 9 of the 12 founding teams abandoned the venture, following accusations of elitism from fans. The last 3 are taking UEFA to court this summer, but more than a dozen EU nations actually support UEFA in the fight. We can call this one number 4. The PGA's status as a monopoly came into focus for suspending 17 golfers for joining the Saudi Arabia-funded LIV Tour. They're not nobodies either. 6-time major champion, the lefty himself, Phil Mickelson, headlines that list. The PGA says it denied the players' bid to play in LIV, and they did it anyway, resulting in the suspensions. You can still catch Mickelson at the US Open, though. That's a USGA event. Number 3 is a sport very close to my heart. Yep, that's me. We're talking about the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. Back in 2015, some of the top cowboys in the world tried to buck the PRCA and launched elite rodeo athletes, promising better money and a better schedule. But similar to the PGA, the old guard PRCA banned anyone with financial interest in a competing association from participating in their events. A judge agreed to hear the ERA's antitrust case, but the fledgling org folded after 1 season, and dozens of cowboys rode back to the PRCA. Number 2 is the most lucrative league in the world. No wonder the NFL is holding onto the sport. Sure, we've seen the XFL and USFL pop up to little competitive success, the latter of which involved a future president in its first failed go-around in the 80s. The NFL's defense against it being called a monopoly is that it is a cartel of 32 independent businesses under one governing body. But is that really true? It did have to settle with Colin Kaepernick, paying him millions after he claimed the entire NFL colluded to keep him off any team over his protesting. Our top spot for sports monopolies is Major League Baseball, which actually has a century-long antitrust exemption from Congress, basically giving it license to be a monopoly. That means it can do things like jack up ticket prices and keep salaries low. Before you say, Max Scherzer will make $43 million this season, I'll point out, a AAA player makes an average of $700 a week. Scherzer makes about 21 times that per pitch. After the most recent lockout, Senator Bernie Sanders said it's time to get rid of MLB's exemption. Okay, but don't feel too bad about tipping back that $14 draft beer at the game this summer. It's hard to find a successful league that isn't some sort of monopoly. That's your 5 for Friday. I'm Simone Del Rosario for Just Business. We'll see you Monday.